Hello, this is Bot Joe talking about CommandrunnerMod, running commands from a file. In many cases, we use command blocks and chains of commands in vanilla Minecraft, and that often becomes very complex. The CommandrunnerMod allows you to put a single command execute file that contains other commands within it inside a command block or use it at the command line. This has huge effects on your ability to create and execute. Here, I've put the execute file within a command block. I'm going to set the console command for the command block. Instead of using a single command or a complex compilation of commands, to simply call an external file called a Caleb file, C-A-L-E-B, for command action line edited block. Currently, this is still in beta, but you can actually go through and execute file. Execute file, we're going to execute arrow.to.caleb, which will go ahead and run a single file. There are two choices, byline and concatenate within the execute file, but I'm entering it into the command. You'll also notice that you can do rotations, rotate south. We're just going to put the rotate south in for now. Going to click done. Going to click done. So, I'm sorry, rotate north. Decide to be clever and show you a little bit more. And it goes and creates an arrow generated within that. This is simply a set of teleports and a fill that allowed me to put an arrow in the air. That arrow has a couple of features. First, it's a set of fills for blocks, and it also contains, at the end, an outward-facing stare. That outward-facing stare in south orientation has a different data tag. So I rotate the data tag, or sorry, the data values, not the data tags, so that the stare will actually rotate. I don't rotate the NBT tags yet. But if you create particular objects, these objects, doors, teleports, and any other command, including block commands, will actually rotate to your direction. I'm going to zoom off a little bit here to show you a little bit more about the CommandrunnerMod and some of its features. And then we'll come back in a moment and continue forward. Auto tab completion works. If you type the word samples, it'll actually generate a single sample file that shows you some of the commands, and we'll put it in the directory for you. Upon loading the mod, it'll go through and pull in the whole directory of anything that has set up in the config of any file that actually exists. And you can tab through those list of files to go and find a particular one. I'm going to select trefoil, which is actually a trefoil knot. I think this one is a little too small. Yeah, it just looks like a blob of netherrack. Not particularly useful. Let's try trefoil 4. Which is a I'm getting clever here. Again, concatenate is not yet supported, and advise was originally supposed to tell you about the file, allow you to see the file and browse through it. At some point that will probably be implemented. And I'm going to rotate that player facing. so that where it would normally face is towards me. The feature cascade, whoops, sorry. We'll come back to the feature cascade here in a moment. But at this particular point, you can actually see a trefoil of netherrack that was generated with a Java program outside of this as a set of commands. And that is a full trefoil, not originally envisioned by MCE30. Thank you, MCE30. Command runner files are always execute, no other command. A command runner file can also, as with anything else, execute itself. So because it always starts with execute, which is optional at the beginning of each line, you can also type at player, put a location, then execute file for another execute. And each one of those can rotate in accordance with your pacing. And those rotations can... The command runner file has some other interesting features. You can literally have hundreds of commands calling hundreds of commands and cascade them in recursion. I'm going to show you some of the truly large features made out of hundreds of commands. While this is going to take a while to run, as soon as I figure out what I want to do, not so brilliant here, or not so brilliant. Execute file, player add, byline, rotate, south, cascade. Whoops, sorry. Just thinking about something there, and it is literally going to start filling blocks. It's going to take a while for this to actually execute because I'm actually filling thousands and thousands of blocks. You don't quite have time to go back to the refrigerator and get a Coke, but the ability to call an execute file within an execute file and rotate it allows you to build truly, truly complex features and be able to reuse those in different orientations. So the spirals that you'll see in the particular application here can actually be rotated and placed in different locations. Once I create a file, I can then use it as components or subcomponents. And this multi-thousand line tower, multi-layer tower, which was originally supposed to look like Baradur and doesn't, excuse me, and is in a list of sample files along with some of the generation code that was used. And we created a series of files within this to actually build a fairly complex castle, including with flaming netherrack being clearly placed. Probably should have run this at daylight, but it still shows you how complex this is, and some fairly large complex features at different levels. Makes a nice wizard's castle and allows you to create truly huge features. These are a set of concentric rings that actually build up into a tower, a hollow tower with spirals. And some magma cubes because I like the look of them. Once we're outside of the tower, you can actually go through and do additional features. I'm going to show you one more additional feature. Let me land somewhere useful. Let's look at all the happy hopping bunnies and show you how the CommandrunnerMod also has the feature to do repeating. Okay, I'm now running that particular command, and it will have created a series of, let's stand up here a little bit, executions. Probably shouldn't have done the trefoil because I don't actually go anywhere. But one of the more useful features, I'm going to use arrow 2 because I do a teleport within the arrow 2. .caleb, and run that, and I then built 10 arrows by teleporting using a simple clever teleport and doing the repeat N. This finishes out the command runner mod, but as you can see, you can do some fairly complex things with the mod, and you can also rotate this in different directions. As you can see, now the arrows are pointing in the other direction along with the stairs. I want to thank you for looking at the command runner mod. I hope you have a nice night and enjoy using it. Still very much in beta. Some new features will be coming out, including some better config control and the ability to access the count within cascades at particular levels. So you'll be able to do X, Y, Z and be able to use those as scoreboard variables. Thank you.